Hi there. Find yourself a comfortable space, take some time for yourself, and join me, Siobhan McLean, for a slice of supervision. So here's a quick one, really. I've already done a video about how I like to open supervision with a visual activity. Well, here's how I like to close supervision. So over the years, I've provided supervision now for 32, 33 years. And I used to find there was a time, maybe about 20 years ago now, there was a time where I felt like the end of supervision was just not good. When I was ending supervision, you have to do all the things like, is there any other business? Have we got the date agreed for next time? All of that stuff that you have to do. But I used to find myself getting to the point of saying, are we done then? It just didn't have a neat ending. So I worked for a while on what could I do to end supervision more neatly. And now I have a concluding reflections activity at the end of every supervision. So that means instead of saying, are we done then? I now say, are we ready to go to concluding reflections? It sounds better, doesn't it? Are we ready then to go to our concluding reflections? And then I use different techniques. Now, most of the time, as you'll pick up from these videos, because I like to see connections between different sessions, what I tend to do is use the same concluding reflective technique with each person over a period of time, because then you can begin to connect them. So, for example, often with students, what I will do as my concluding reflection with a student is use the 4 words from the University of York's method, where it's just surprises, satisfactions, dissatisfactions, learning. So I say those words and the student says to me the first thing that comes to their mind. I always ask, don't prepare for those, don't pre-plan them. It's just like almost like a word association game. What's the first word that comes to your mind when I say the word surprises? And then at the end of the placement, you can look back over all the surprises, all the satisfactions, all the dissatisfactions. So you see growth and progress and you can pinpoint particular things. So often with students, I use that as a concluding technique. But with other people I supervise, I might use concluding techniques such as sometimes the word of the week comes in as the concluding reflection. I'll be sharing that in another video. Sometimes I use stop, start, continue, which again, I'll be sharing in another video. So you could use different techniques. Some people like to use a different concluding reflection each session. If we just have supervision maybe every 6 weeks or so, then we'd use a different concluding reflection. And maybe that means you're using, 6, 7 over a year. So concluding reflections, give it a go. I do hope you've enjoyed today's slice of supervision. Here's how to follow me. See you again soon.